Hey, how's it going? I wanted to share my thoughts on the first two episodes of The Rings of Power. I just went ahead and watched them. I'll talk about a few spoilers towards the end, so I'll announce that before I get into spoiler territory. But first off, initial impressions, spoiler free. I was pretty disappointed overall. I'd probably give it 4 out of 10 stars, honestly. From a technical standpoint, so production design, costumes, props, special effects, lighting, music, all of that was on point. I'd give it 8 or 9 out of 10. I thought it was really solid, especially for a TV show. Very, very ambitious and well executed. But the and I guess the acting was fine also, but the writing was just not solid. I kind of set myself up with some expectations that it would be, and I guess this is a minor spoiler. I thought it was going to be kind of an adaptation of some of the events covered in the Silmarillion, and it was not. Which is fine. They reference stuff that happened in the Silmarillion, and so it kind of takes place between the Silmarillion and the Hobbit, Lord of the Rings events. And I don't have an issue with telling new original stories in an existing canon. I just think you need to do it well when you do. And at least in the first two episodes, they really didn't. I liked Arondir and Bronwyn and the son Theo. Those were good characters. They actually made me care about them and be a little interested in what's going to happen to them. So I'll keep watching for them. But all the other characters were pretty flat, and like they just didn't really build up good stakes for like me as an audience member to like care. Especially, I guess spoilers now, when they keep cutting back to Galadriel and the dude in the ocean. I'm like, this is lame. Like, cool, you are able to do angry sea budget. Like I don't care about the dude. We don't know anything about the characters, so until they reveal something to make me care about him, I don't care. Galadriel, we already know is in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, so like, there's no stakes. Like, oh, will she not survive? Like, and so I think, yeah, her character just feels like we already know where she ends up. So like, they need to add more stakes around her to make us care because she's someone who. Same with Elrond. Like, we already know where he ends up, so that's kind of the curse of a prequel. But I got to give a shout out the way they did the Harfoots, like the proto hobbits. I liked them a lot. Now, again, I think spoiler alert. The whole story with the man who falls out of the sky. What the heck is that? First off, again, they fail to establish making us care about him in any meaningful way. He just does nonsense. And so help me God, if he's Gandalf, oh, that would be so lame. That would be. I hope not. When he was talking to the Fireflies at the end of this last episode, I was like, you better not do that. That'd be real lame. But anyway, regardless of who he is or isn't, again, they failed to make me care as an audience member. So those scenes with him and Nori and Poppy just drug on. I was like, oh my God, I don't care. But I circling back to what I was saying, I really liked the way they did the Harfoot village. That was fun. The way they can like suddenly like kind of hide and conceal in nature and then come out. That was cool. I dug that. That was really fun. And then, like I said, Arondir, Bronwyn, I like their son Theo. They could have introduced him a little better and just like given some more context, but I'm curious to see where his arc goes because, again, spoiler alert. I did like that scene towards the end where like he's looking at the sword hilt and like the blood from his wound kind of gets pulled towards it and like it uses dark magic to like regrow the sword with his blood. That was cool. So again, I've just covered the two cool things about the show. It was the Hobbit village and the sword. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. So overall, for a little over 2 hours of viewership, I don't have much to take away. That was awesome. So, oh, the dinner scene between Elrond and Prince Durin, and I think her name was Demas or Dias or Dylas. The writing in that scene, the dialogue, and like the chemistry between the dwarf couple felt very natural. So I liked that. That scene was engaging, even though there wasn't too much critical to the plot going on. That scene just felt natural and engaging where I was like, I forgot that I was watching a show. I'm like, oh, this is just a cool story bit. So those are really the three positives of the show. Those three elements. Otherwise, I really wasn't super impressed. I hope it gets better. And also, I gotta say, I was, people were throwing a fit about it having more diversity, which I was like, hey, I'm excited for that. And then there really wasn't much. like, I mean, it was better than the other two Lord of the Rings adaptations we've seen, but not by much. Like, I was expecting a lot more diversity based on how the show was advertised, and so I was kind of disappointed that, like, 95% of the characters were all white. I was like, that's kind of lame. So, overall, it could have been a lot better. I hope the series gets better with the amount of money Amazon has spent on it. Yeah, I wish the writers had done a better job. Because, I mean, again, if they had a lot to work with the Silmarillion. There's some really cool Game of Thrones-esque stuff with the elves, debating how to fight Morgoth, how they relate to the Valar, what they're going to do about the Silmarils, what their role is in Middle-Earth. Like, they had a lot of cool stuff to work with. And I get that the scope of the Silmarillion, the way it takes place over thousands of years, it would be a challenge to adapt for a TV show. As a writer, I totally acknowledge that. You would have to make changes, you would have to make composite characters, like, there would be a lot of things to change, but you still have a really core, good framework you could work with. And again, they were like, we're going to do this all after the fact of those things and create our own stories. Which, again, is fine as long as you do it well. And so far, they have not. So, yeah, I wish the writing was better. That's 4 out of 10 stars would be my takeaway. So, as a huge Tolkien fan, hope it gets better. Hope it gets better. So, that's my takeaway. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Appreciate it. Have a good one.